Vilgax is one of the main villains in Ben 10, and he's appeared in Classic, UAF, Omniverse, and the Reboot series. Throughout all these appearances, he has had major changes to his design, voice, and overall demeanor. This makes every one of his appearances very different from each other, and that's where the problem lies. Vilgax is an inconsistent character in Ben 10, leading to very different versions of him. Now, each version of Vilgax has its own merits, but the Classic series is usually held to be the best variation of Vilgax's character. So that raises the question, why does Vilgax work in the Classic series? And that's what I'm going to talk about in today's video. I'm going to give 3 reasons why Classic series Vilgax works so well as a villain, and why he's so beloved. And just because I'm praising this Vilgax doesn't mean the other versions of Vilgax don't have anything to offer to the table. It's just that I want to talk about Classic series Vilgax, but one day I'll talk about the other versions of Vilgax. With all that out of the way, let's jump straight into this video. Also forgot to say, but please like and subscribe to support my yappings. Anyways, let's dive straight into this video. I'm going to talk about 3 reasons why Classic Vilgax works so well, and I'm only going to be using 3 reasons just for simplicity's sake, but number 1 will be his buildup, number 2 will be his aura, and number 3 will be his performance. To expand on number 1, what I mean by buildup is the slow gradual appearances of Vilgax in season 1 that builds up to his character's first appearance in Secrets. It first starts in the pilot where Vilgax is chasing the Omnitrix and is dealt serious damage, and this leads to him being in a recovery tank for most of the season. But even when Vilgax is unable to try and obtain the Omnitrix himself, he's still able to use his vast amount of resources to send drones after the Omnitrix. Then again in the episode Hunted, Vilgax sends bounty hunters after the Omnitrix again, just showing his undying will to get this Omnitrix. He will literally do anything to get the Omnitrix. He is kind of obsessed with getting the Omnitrix. He also appears in the episode The Alliance, where he spooks Ben with a vision. Then finally in the episode Secrets, at the beginning of the episode before he physically appears, he appears in a dream sequence to both remind us, the audience, and Ben that Vilgax is still a looming threat. Vilgax was built up in 3 episodes before making his physical appearance, and these 3 episodes may not seem like enough to build up a main villain, but you have to remember that Ben 10, and especially Ben 10 Classic, is an episodic show with sprinkles of overarching storylines. So for Ben 10, it's perfect because it's able to keep its episodic element while being able to set up a long-term villain. I personally think that this is just enough appearances to build up Vilgax as a serious threat to both the Tennysons and the viewers, while not taking away the episodic fun of Ben 10. His build-up is well executed, and I believe it benefits Vilgax's character in the way that it builds up this fear and mystery that makes you more engaged with his character when he finally appears for the first time in the episode Secrets. But that's only one piece of this 3-piece puzzle that makes Classic series Vilgax so good. The next reason why Vilgax works so well is because of his aura. Now, aura has become sort of a meme, you know, okay, people meme about it, but even if it's a meme, Vilgax still has 10,000 plus aura. Saying that out loud is just so embarrassing. Out of every Classic series villain, he has the most aura. So let's explain why Vilgax just screams aura, and why his aura makes him so goated in the Classic series. Aura is basically just the presence that the character gives off. Think of characters like Darth Vader, Thanos, Sukuna, Doflamingo, or even Megatron. They give off this presence that makes you scared for our main characters whenever they're on screen. Vilgax does the same thing. When Grandpa Max saw Vilgax in Secrets, he was genuinely flabbergasted. For most of the series, Grandpa Max has been pretty chill with all this alien stuff, so to see him genuinely frightened by Vilgax is a shock to us. But it also makes Gwen uneasy too, because Grandpa Max doesn't usually get scared when faced with aliens trying to kill them in every single episode. It also makes Grandpa and Gwen and us, the audience, very fearful for Ben because he's way over his head when it comes to Vilgax. This isn't the only moment of aura. Saying aura out loud is just very cringe, okay? But Vilgax was also straight up bodying Ben on Mount Rushmore. Accelerate ran around and built up all this momentum just to hit Vilgax, and Vilgax was unfazed. He just stood there while Ben's legs were shaking like crazy. Diamond Head's crystals also had no effect on Vilgax, and Vilgax full-on slammed him into the ground. Also, Vilgax was fully prepared to kill a 10-year-old girl and an old man to get the Omnitrix. If that doesn't scream out aura, I don't know what will. Also, all of this was just in 1 episode. In Back with a Vengeance, Grandpa Max had to send Vilgax to a whole nother dimension just to get rid of him. Not a prison cell, another dimension. Grandpa Max had to send Vilgax to the Null Void just to get rid of him. Classic series Vilgax is just him, okay? When you think of him, you should think of Vilgax, because Vilgax is him. The other versions of Vilgax do not have this aura. Alien Force Vilgax got defeated by Diamond Head, the same Diamond Head that Classic series Vilgax one-tapped. Ultimate Alien Force Vilgax got one-tapped by Ben with a sword, okay? He got one-tapped by a sword, okay? It was the Sword of Ascalon, but he did still get one-tapped, okay? That's kind of embarrassing, not gonna lie. The whole art built up to Ben with the Sword of Ascalon versus Vilgax with the Dagon's powers, and then the fight just concluded with 1 attack, and Vilgax said the worst line in the entire franchise.
You stabbed me.
You stabbed me! A whole season built up to this moment, and the line Vilgax had to say is, you stabbed me. Like, what was Ben supposed to do with a sword? Was he supposed to like shoot you with an energy beam or something? Like, of course he was gonna stab you. This one scene got Ultimate Alien Force Vilgax 10,000 minus aura. I'm just saying, like, classic series Vilgax is on another level. I'm just saying. And if you think Omniverse Vilgax is any better, he isn't. Most of the time he's played like a gag or made the butt of the joke. The one time he wasn't played for a gag is in the two-parter with all the other versions of Ben, but after his plans failed, he gets one-tapped. Now, he did get one-tapped by Atomics and Alien X Fusion, so it's kind of understandable. Like, what was he supposed to do? But still, kind of embarrassing. Just, I'm not gonna lie, kind of embarrassing. I'm just saying, if you take a look at every series, you can tell me which one has the most aura. But to stop slandering the other versions of Vilgax, Vilgax in the classic series has this presence to him that makes the main cast and the audience fearful of what may happen to the Tennysons. This is because he's played as a genuine threat that is calculating and will go to any lengths to reach his goals. The aura classic series Vilgax has makes him an imposing villain that's a genuine threat, and you know when Vilgax is on screen, things will go down. Hands will be thrown, people will be stressing out, things will go down when Vilgax is on screen. So Vilgax's buildup is good at making a repertoire? I don't know how to pronounce this. Repertoire? I genuinely don't know. I guess I'll just have to Google it or something.
Repertoire.
With the audience. And the aura he gives off in the classic series shows that he's a serious threat that shouldn't be made light of. Both of these things build him up as a great villain to watch, and there's one more thing I want to talk about that makes him work so well as a villain, and that's his performance. His performance is basically just what he does in the series to reach his main goal, and how well he did those things. Like, you don't want an incompetent villain as your main villain for your show, unless you actually write your villain to be that way, but the thing I'm talking about is when a villain is written to be competent and smart and an intelligent villain, but they do stupid things that make them look like a complete idiot and makes the audience not take them seriously. Vilgax in this series always has a top-notch performance and is usually very smart and tactful to the point where we fear what will happen to Ben if Vilgax appears. Like, a good example of what I'm trying to say is when Vilgax sends bounty hunters to go get the Omnitrix. It would have worked if not for Tetrax, but the thing I'm trying to get at is it's a good example of Vilgax using his resources to the fullest ability to complete his goals. Another example is Vilgax sending drones to the city to draw out Ben to then surprise attack him and take the Omnitrix. This version of Vilgax has a very good performance against Ben in all his showings and is a genuinely smart villain. I haven't rewatched Secrets of the Omnitrix yet, so hopefully that doesn't come back to bite me in the butt, but hopefully my point still is valid. Hopefully, like, that movie doesn't make my whole point invalid. He also has a great battle performance against Ben and is able to dog on Ben in most of their fights. Honestly, Ben would have died multiple times on Mount Rushmore if it wasn't for random transformations, a little luck, and basically just plot armor. So those are the three pieces that makes Vilgax work so well in the classic series. Again, not saying the other versions of Vilgax are bad, but they're just not as good as the classic series version. Of course, that's in my not so humble opinion, of course. Also, just wanted to say that this Vilgax has the best design and voice direction. Of course, Vilgax has the same voice actor in classic and Omniverse, but I think the way he speaks and the voice direction for him is way better in the classic series. I'm also biased towards the classic series. You know, I just realized I really like Vilgax's breather mask thing, whatever it's called. And I also like Darth Vader's breathing mask thing. I think I just like characters with like breathing mask type of things that cover their face. I think it just makes them look cooler. So yeah, I'm biased. This video is biased. But it's my video, so that's fine. Because everything I say is an opinion, so it's okay. So overall, that's why I think Vilgax works in the classic series. Probably could have made better points, but this video's on a time crunch because I wanted to finish it before my summer break's over and all that crap. But this Vilgax has a proper build-up to his first appearance, which makes it feel more grand in retrospective. He has an amazing presence / aura that makes you know things will go down when he appears, and he has a great performance as a villain in the series. He's smart, cunning, and tactful, and he's super tied into the lore of Ben 10, which adds to him as a villain. Villains are usually better when they have some sort of connection to the main hero, and with the Omnitrix and Vilgax's ties to Grandpa Max, he definitely has that. But overall, that's why Vilgax works so well as a villain in the classic series. So I've talked about Vilgax, now I may make a video on Kevin 11 in the classic series, of course, because I'm rewatching the classic series. He has good connections and parallels to Ben, and I probably should make a video on him, like one really big video. But I probably should finish my other videos before starting another big one. Anyways, with that, I have nothing more to talk about, so like, subscribe, and comment, of course, if you want to. With that, have a good day, and just like summer, I'm gone.